Minute starts now.
Alright, so our idea has sort of two parts. We made two models because it was hard to show on one. So basically, the problem we're trying to solve is Renita has trouble typing on a keyboard. She'll hit the wrong keys and it slows down her typing. And that's important for her job to type. So we're trying to make an alternate solution, an alternate keyboard that would be easier for her to use.
So essentially what we have here, our project name is Unique Keyboard. And so what it does is that it uses enlarged keys and also separators in order to facilitate the speed of one-handed typing.
So we have here different keys. They're very large, obviously much larger than a normal keyboard, which makes it easier for her. And also they're coded with shapes and also the colors, so different vowels, different colors.
Then the most unique part about our keys is that they're beveled in. We have a little clay model
So,
here.
yeah, it's sort of falling apart, but...
So one of her main problems was that she kept touching the other key and messing up and, slipping and stuff like that.
So basically the idea is that each key is sort of indented inside, so that you have these parts which are not part of the keys. And
they're separated
inside
entirely.
you can hit the key, so that way, if you have two keys next to each other, like these two here, if you go for one and you miss, rather than hitting the other key and having to go over in backspace,
You still press the key.
you don't hit it, and then you can hit the right key, so you're not hitting the wrong keys.
Very nice. So let's get some feedback, at least a little bit of feedback from each team.
Yeah.
I like the name.
The name.
Beautiful tech mentor made it.
What are some questions that you might have for them as to how they might accomplish this?
How are your letters sorted?
It's accordion style, but all of the vowels are triangles, so it's a lot easier. And all of the letters that you don't use normally, like a Q or I have K here, are squares, and then the rest of them that are normally used are all in circles. Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Okay, let's start over here and work our way around.
Did you say you were changing the size of the keys at all?
Yeah, they're a little bit bigger than normal keys.
About the size of all the keys, or?
The
Of
whole
all the
keyboard.
keys.
Okay.
And then this is a little bit zoomed in, but yeah.
Yeah, the numbers not
Oh,
perfect.
right.
Yeah, next question.
What about up, down, left, right?
It's not.
It's part of
Yes. It doesn't.
It would have been here.
They will be
up,
on the
down,
front.
left, right. Okay.
We don't have
next
Just
question.
document the feedback.
You will change the size of the keyboard?
Yeah, it's going to be
make
a little
it
bit
bigger.
bigger,
So
yeah.
don't you think it will be hard for the people to move the finger all over the keyboard?
It won't be that big. It will be like we thought that at first, to just make the whole poster board a keyboard, but then we realized no, that wouldn't be reasonable.
Okay,
So it's just a little bit bigger than a
figure
normal.
out what's the
You-
right size.
One thing to keep in mind when getting feedback is feedback is helpful, so we don't need to respond to the feedback. Just be like, that's a really good point. We'll keep it in mind. It's a good way, and you'll incorporate it. You might have already thought of it, but don't worry about it.
All right, one more over here.
Can I see again the model of how the key groups are?
Yeah, it's
falling
like
apart by now.
it's like think of a bowl. Think of a bowl for the key, and then what you press is like on the inside you just press
Bottom
it
of the
down.
bowl.
Yeah,
Mechanical keyboard.
Indented keys, not
So like
indented.
mechanical
not
keyboard?
keys.
kind of not. It's just more
One
like
mic,
the
one
key's a
mic.
bowl.
Are you going to take into account, I guess, the extra time it will take to sort of go into it and press it? Because I know you mentioned that type speed is an important part of this, so. Just really
So speed and accuracy is something to think about.
Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind because we want to know that. Yes.
Oh yeah, strike.
Because you don't.
Sorry.
Basically,
continue.
one thing that you actually keep in mind is also the visibility of the letters and the numbers in the keys, because if they're indented, it might be a bit hard to see in some angles.
And then I've got 3 more. Those are the last 3. Yes.
You also should take into account people who cannot move that much and can't access all the keys. So how are you going to work with that? Would be interesting.
So you mentioned that I think it's a really smart idea that you're taking the less used letters and making them like a different shape. But I wonder if making those ones smaller and making the most used ones bigger and easier to reach might be an interesting thing.
That's a really good idea. We'll keep that in mind.
I have a question. Why are there like circles and squares and triangles? And then different colors?
The vowels are triangles. The less used letters are squares, and the most used letters that aren't vowels are in circles. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope you got some valuable
Round of applause.